She added that today every member of her scheme could boast about her saving, thanks to the good income made from the sale of their produce. To prove the truth of her lady president's assertion, another member of the scheme, Famata Jabang, intimated to GRTS that her purse, which she says is always around her waist, has never been emptied of money since the start of the season. The scheme at Kiam West village of Canton Kunda provided another success story, and the villagers are proud of it. The lady president, Ajabinda Sise, and the Alcalo Alaji Baba Sise both acknowledge what they describe as the phenomenal impact of WAP's intervention on their vegetable production. They, however, use the occasion to lament the dire need for the expansion and fencing of the scheme, provision of more wells and reliable market outlets for their produce. Other women in Kiamanduar, Kiankeneba, Jomar, Jara Japine, Jabisa, and Badume Koto expressed similar sentiments. In the Fula and Sarawale communities of Central and Upper River regions such as Sare Bakari, Dalaba, Navugan and Lamwe, where people mostly engage in livestock and ground production, the Top Party observed a growing commitment to horticultural production. This is a step in the right direction, for if we are to achieve our dream of becoming a viable and sustainable agricultural country, our farmers must be encouraged to diversify their production. For GRTS News, I am Bakari Fatih reporting.
It's time now to take a momentary break when we'll be back with news from outside the Gambia in just a moment. Welcome back. The official announcement of the capture of Zoka Senev, the second suspect in the Boston Marathon bombings, may have been low-key, but the alleged bomber did not go quietly. While those who know Zoka Senev says he seems incapable of the violence that unfolded this week in and around Boston, CNN's Jim Acosta takes a closer look at this 19-year-old suspect.
Studied this for quite some time because police officers up there did something that's never quite been done before. They essentially established a capture net for this suspect and enlisted the help of 4.5 million people, the population of the whole city, to help them. Here's how they did it. Basically, they figured out where they thought he would be in one of these 6 towns here, about 300,000 people living there, and they said to everyone, lock your doors, go inside, clear the streets so there's nobody moving except this guy, if they could make it that way. Then they narrowed it down further. They focused on Watertown in particular. Again, they said, keep your doors locked. They flooded the zone with police officers, and they started cutting off all access in and out of this area. How did they do that? Well, among other things, they asked 5,500 taxi drivers around Boston, stay away, don't go there. They shut down subways and buses. They asked businesses to close, and many did. Fenway Park canceled the ball game, but other places as well said to their workers, don't come in, we're not going to operate today. They shut down schools, public schools, private schools, universities like Harvard, MIT, Tufts, and Brandeis all shut down. Beyond that, they put pressure on the trains to not let people hop on and get out of town easily, and even more security at the airport. Look, you can see what's happening around Watertown here. They effectively put up a net, a capture net, and they started squeezing in the belief that this man was now caught in the middle of it all. And now let's put all this away and zoom in to where he was found, because that was the real proof in this plan. They said if we could just keep him there and keep asking people to look, somebody would spot him. And in that house with the red car behind it, that's exactly what happened. A man looked out into his backyard where he had his boat, and what did he see? He saw a smear of blood on the cover of that boat looked inside, according to authorities, and saw someone hiding there, called the police, and that is how this extraordinary manhunt ended.
Remarkable. The Senev brothers are suspected of leaving a trail of death and misery in their wake. MIT police officer Saint Collier, the last victim to die, was fatally shot Thursday night. He was 26 years old, and of course it all began Monday afternoon at the finish line of the Boston Marathon when two bombs ripped through a crowd of spectators, killing 3 people. Many of Watertown's residents went out of their way to show their appreciation for police and other security forces, even though the hunt for the suspect put the city on lockdown for most of Friday. Businesses and schools were closed and residents were asked to stay at home. As Tom Foreman explains, the dragnet involves millions of people, and in the U.S. it was almost unprecedented.
Zanayev, believed to be wearing the white baseball cap in the surveillance video released by the FBI, who looks even more boyish in this updated photo. Relatives who haven't been in touch with Jahar can only guess about his motives, since he moved to the U.S. over a decade ago from the Russian Caucasus region and sought asylum with his family.
We're Muslims, we're Chechens, we're ethnic Chechens. Somebody radicalized them.
The suspect's uncle, who lives in Maryland, was asked by reporters what might have provoked Jahar and his now dead brother, Tamerlan.
Being losers.
But in tweets on what's believed to be Jahar's Twitter account, there is little sign of remorse. "Ain't no love in the heart of the city. Stay safe, people," read one tweet posted after the bombing. And 2 days later, "I'm a stress-free kind of guy." On what's believed to be his account on a Facebook-like Russian social media website, the suspect's worldview is described as Islam. His personal priority, career and money. A video is posted showing the carnage from the civil war in Syria. U.S. officials say Jahar became a U.S. citizen on September 11th of last year and attended high school in Cambridge, outside Boston, where he even won a scholarship before enrolling at the Dartmouth campus of the University of Massachusetts. Most friends and teachers say they never saw any signs of trouble.
Regular teenager, didn't suspect anything. He was on the wrestling team. He went to parties with, other students. Yeah, he went to the prom.
He was a wonderful kid. We were proud of him. You know, he was an outstanding athlete. There's nothing. He was never a troublemaker in the school.
But another friend says one conversation does stand out.
A friend of mine has we've been in contact this morning, and he had told me that that there was a conversation that him and another close friend of mine had just recently, maybe about 6 months to a year ago, in regards to terrorism, the acts of terror not being a serious issue if you come from a place that I come from.
Still, the suspect's father told Russian television he believes his sons were set up.
Someone framed them. I don't know who exactly did it, but someone did. And being cowards, they shot the boy dead. There are cops like this.
Sad. Former Pakistani military strongman Pervez Musharraf's return to his country has sparked a plethora of reaction from his supporters and opponents alike. Moments after the Pakistani Supreme Court banned him from leaving the country, the former head of Pakistan's powerful military was placed under house arrest with a threat of a court case hanging over him. CNN senior international correspondent Nick Robertson spoke with Musharraf, and he reports the once powerful military ruler does not want to go away quietly.
Those are Musharraf's supporters. They've gone to the courthouse as well. Both sides here facing off with their own opinions. The legal battle, though, going on inside there.
Within 20 minutes, though, his first hearing on terror charges over.
The question now, has he got jail? Has he got bail? Or is he going back to house arrest, the so-called sub-jail scenario? Well, Musharraf's only just driven off up the road away from the courthouse, and already there's a fight breaking out between the lawyers here who are anti-Musharraf and those pro-Musharraf supporters who came outside the courthouse. Seems to be some sort of running street battle now.
It all hints at divisions over Musharraf's treatment. Sympathies for him since his arrest growing, and the decision on where he goes now, house arrest.
This is how